Hey, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for joining in. And this podcast that I designed was created to bring you very special guests from our local community that are insightful and bring you the information so you can make great financial decisions in your life. And I wanted to bring that information as a value add for you. So I've had, as you know, I've had real estate agents and financial advisors, attorneys, CPAs, and it all in regards to building wealth, primarily through real estate, but building wealth, successful wealth with just helpful knowledge from local industry professionals. So today I have another one of those guests with me, and today I have Kevin Lisitsin from the Lisitsin Insurance Agency here in Fresno. And Kevin is somebody I know personally and has brought a lot of value to me and my family and to my business. So welcome to the show, Kevin. How are you?
Oh my gosh, couldn't be better. Thank you so much for inviting me, Michelle, and thanks for joining us, those out there that are listening.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't wait. For a long time, I've already had it in my mind that, yeah, hey, I'm going to have Kevin on the show because you are somebody that I know and trust, have done business with, and you have taken exceptional care of our clients too. And it's very important in this world that we refer people business that are going to really hands down take care of someone. And you and I have established a friendship and a business as well over the years. So, let's just jump right into a little bit about you, Kevin, and tell us, how you got into this business and maybe some of the other things that you do as well. Tell us a little about your family. Just tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, I appreciate that very much. Started in the insurance industry, actually will be 10 years, 2025. So great milestone, to be able to accomplish. We have a great team of folks. I'm a big advocate I remember starting day one, we had no insurance policies, and I had to start selling a policy, so we had an income. Like it was the grit right out the gate, and just hitting it. And I remember meeting you shortly after
Right.
I got started. We've known each other for quite a while.
Yes.
Hiring my first associate to work with our team within 3 months of getting started, just to be able to handle the back end things behind the scenes, so I would be able to continually go out and grow the business and help clients as they started having questions about claims, and I was available to answer them and not stuck in the paperwork side of the business, which all of us are familiar with. Not scared to do it, right? But definitely not my lane. I want to be in. And so yeah, just through just getting involved in the community and doing great things within the foster care community, and then also partnering with local nonprofits that do a lot of things with foster care, excuse me, and then also with the entrepreneurial program, because of my involvement with owning and operating restaurants and breweries in town. Fresno Unified reached out to me to work with their local high schools, and they have forums that they put together where these kids create these businesses and they have ideas or structural questions. So another local business owner, I'm not the only one. There's a group of us that all are very fortunate to go to these schools and mentor kids. So yeah,
And you've made such an impact,
oh gosh, yeah.
in your desire to, bring value to the children of our community and, your passion for your nonprofit. And,
Mm.
tell us just a little bit more about that. Tell us, about,
Yeah, the nonprofit.
yes,
Yeah, so that journey started when we opened up Rocket Dog, which was 2013, I think was when we started that process. Was we wanted to actually start a nonprofit. We wanted to start the restaurants to fund the nonprofit. That was the whole reason for us doing that to begin with.
right.
And that actually ended up changing. The nonprofit we were going to give to got absorbed by the local government they were in. And so we were on a journey for like 3 or 4 years trying to figure out what nonprofit do we want to give to. And then one of the owners at the time suggested, since I'm so involved in foster care, my wife and I fostered two of our three children, that we would start our own foster care
Blessings,
nonprofit.
blessings.
And so what we're doing is we've partnered with Youth for Christ, which was something that came up last year. They're the mentoring mechanism that we use to be able to reach out to kids going through juvenile hall. So when they exit out juvenile hall and they happen to be in the foster care system, we provide an income for the help to support those kids coming out. And so last year we had our first kid, this young man. I met him. He heard my story. I gave him my book. He did all the right things, and I was able to get him a job as a welder here in town. And so he
Wow.
started that right away. And, his life journey took him away from that position fairly quickly. It didn't last, as long as we were hoping it would last. But these stories go on forever. We're a part of their journey. You're a part of every person that you meet's journey. And I'm blessed to be a part of however I can. And so, yeah, that's the nonprofit is Diligent Heart. And
Yes,
yeah,
diligent heart.
we've been going at it for a while. And
Yes.
so, yeah, it's been good.
So, it's kind of funny because you started off looking for a nonprofit to be a part of, but did you know then, like, did you just happen to fall into creating one of your own?
Yeah, I had no idea. Like, it goes to like the value statement of who we think we are as people, right?
Right.
Like, just never thought that I would ever have a nonprofit. I never thought I would have an insurance agency, the size that we have 4 employees. I mean, the list goes on. God's been really good.
Absolutely.
The rewarding of the effort, meeting wonderful people like you in our community. Fresno is just a great place to live and just feel very honored to be a part of it.
Right. And I mean, your vast knowledge of, the insurance field in itself,
Yeah.
in all areas. And it's funny when you think about insurance agents, you think probably auto, home, life,
Yeah.
but, or auto, home. And, especially in real estate, we're thinking about just the homeowners and, homeowners insurance and stuff like that. But let me tell you, I want to get into a little bit deeper into what you do in regards to, the life insurance side
Yeah.
of things, because I think that's, everybody knows you need to have homeowners insurance when you buy a
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
That's standard, and we'll get into a little more details about that and the the laws in regards to the changes that are being made and things like that. But the life insurance side, Kevin, when you and I sat down a few years back and discussed what life insurance would mean for my family,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I said, okay, how do we get started? What do we need to do? And so we went through those channels and we did those steps. But tell us, how important do you think having one person? I mean,
Mm.
for me, the wonderfulness about that is I have one person.
Yeah.
I have one person that I go to for everything,
Yep.
and having somebody local and having somebody that's accessible like you are, tell us the benefits of that. Cause I think people really need to know about the benefits of life insurance along with all the other things that we have to have.
Yeah. So I'm a believer in the Dave Ramsey theory when it comes to like the different types of life insurance that's out there.
Yeah.
I focus solely on the term life insurance policies.
Yeah.
And then also the IUL, which has really been a really big revolution over the last 3 to 5 years in what it actually offers. So you have your variable agents that have the ability of going like through the stock market and this more series licensed agents. Then you
Right.
have agents like me that are just fixed annuities, fixed IULs, which can build a lot of wealth. I have kids, parents that have kids that they're going to put $100 a month as an example into a grandchild's insurance policy, and they're going to get $80,000 to $100,000 a year
That's incredible.
at like age 65 or 55 for like 10 or 20 years. And it's just the compounding of what that $100 a month does over that period of time, and as it's being invested with those insurance carriers, it's pretty massive. And so that's one option. The other option is when you buy a home, you want to have that peace of mind that God forbid something happens to you, your caretaker, your spouse, your significant other,
Yes.
all have some sort of fund,
Yes.
depending on the type of
So
policy, to
important.
be able to help provide them with peace of mind. And those are two reasons, right? The biggest reason, and a lot of people don't realize this, is the Rockefellers. If you study the Rockefellers, you'll learn that they actually made their money off of life insurance. That whole family did.
Right. I,
And
I
so,
do know, I know some of the history there. So,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So when someone passes, which everyone that is pretty much guaranteed in life, they're transferring that wealth into their trust, and then they invest that trust into the community, into their portfolio, and it's called legacy wealth. And so for me personally, I'm the second generation born in America, and I want my kids to have that sort of legacy.
That's correct.
And so we have put things into place, and the families that allow us to have this conversation with them, a lot of them say yes to it. But and some of it is like $20, $30 a month. These aren't
Yeah.
these aren't big investments. It's just bringing awareness to them.
Right. And,
But yeah,
a lot of people think that's for the the wealthy or the rich,
Yeah, or they haven't met
that
their
to
job.
have those types of
Yeah.
things, right, to
Yep.
leave, and they don't understand that this is something that's built over time,
Hmm.
and with very small or minimal investments, that are manageable,
Yeah.
that fit well into most people's budget.
Oh, for sure.
So when you think about that, you think, well, I should probably start doing that, especially younger people, and there's really no time that you can't get started on doing things like that. There's
Yeah.
and it's all about, because I too am a firm believer in building generational wealth and legacy wealth,
Mm-hmm.
and I got started a little late myself, so for me, it's, I invest a little more because I started a little late,
Yeah.
right? But that's okay. It's a program, and these programs now. What is an IUL again? I think I remember what you told me about that, but
Index Universal Life.
yeah, okay. So
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about that.
So the Index Universal Life is you pay the state has a limit that you can put money into a policy, like a term policy. So
Right,
you're paying $30 a month. Well, the state could say, well, actually, you can MEC. We call it MEC. We can MEC it out to $600 a month, right?
right.
So you can pay $20 a month for that term policy, or you could put money into an IUL, which is basically now it turns into a permanent
That's
policy,
correct.
and you pay that difference. Now that difference is being invested.
Right.
And so different companies offer different investment tools. And the company that I work with has a very strong plan where it's 50-50,
Right.
and it's almost doubling, if not tripling, what we used to be able to do 5 years ago. I have a friend that's also an agent who has a couple of clients that just put, a large amount of money, six figures into one of these policies,
Right.
him and his business partner, and the money it's going to return for them is it's really crazy. And and knowing that you have fixed annuities, and then also you have variable annuities,
Right.
you also have fixed IULs and variable IULs. So if it's fixed, that means you have an illustration that's going to help you with the guarantee. If it's a variable, you can get more money, but you can also lose more money. And so I always tell people that this is one mechanism in your retirement that can really help give you a foundation. And it's not everything. I wouldn't suggest, this is a conversation I would be having with somebody, because
Sure.
IUL is not for everybody. Term's not for everybody.
No.
That's where having the conversation with an actual person versus over the phone or internet. You can learn about these things to see if it's something that you should actually invest in.
Right. But hearing it directly from a professional who can explain it to someone on, as it works.
Yeah.
And it's got to be, you want it to come from somebody, because I don't know about you, like a lot of people read stuff on the internet and they have no idea what they're reading. They have no idea what it means. They need somebody knowledgeable to sit down and explain it to them. Because, I mean, so many times people put money in the bank, young people put money in the bank and they think, oh, I'm just going to keep it in my savings. And it's not making them any money.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
not making them any money. So
Yeah.
when they do things and they learn about these tools, nobody young thinks about life insurance.
Not no, it's
I mean,
not.
I
It's
can't
not a
say nobody. I
common
don't
thing.
want to be absolute here,
No, it's pretty common. Usually you're
right?
in your 40s when you start thinking about it, because what happens is when someone leaves a job, they may not get life insurance at the next company, and
That's
life
correct.
insurance doesn't always move with you when you retire.
Right.
And life insurance with the job could have some exclusions to it, and it's very minimal. Usually, it's more of a burial, But I always
Right.
I use the definition for insurance. You said a couple of things already. I wanted to touch on. One was it's a transfer of risk to a monthly affordable budget.
Right.
So insurance, you're transferring the risk of what you own to a monthly affordable budget. And so now's a great time, because people are going to be could be going to their CPA for taxes now, or maybe they just left their CPA for taxes, or maybe they have a quarterly meeting with their CPA scheduled, which everyone, if you own a business, should. Then that would be a conversation to have with them: is, hey, should I have an umbrella policy? How much liability insurance should I have? And do I have the right life insurance policies in place? Because there's a lot of options with those.
Right.
And so I always recommend to clients to do that. And then also, every time I talk about life insurance with anyone, and I even mention this as much as possible to new homeowners, is to get a trust, because then
so
you're
important.
able to leverage the trust to be able to get the funds into them, and then that can be a mechanism that is funded through a financial planner or through the right financial beneficiary you have managing that portion of the trust.
That's correct.
And it'll distribute out how you want it to distribute out, right? And then that, if you do it the right way, it can be very beneficial to you and your family. And the other thing is they're so easily done now. I mean, and again, I'm not an attorney or a CPA or any of that. I'm only an insurance agent. So do your
A
own
good one.
research. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. You can do your own research, definitely.
Yeah.
But you can go get them for $500 a trust.
Yeah.
And you can have an attorney review it, and then you have a notary come and sign off on it. But yeah, so when you're working with the right wealth manager or financial advisor or insurance agent, however you want to call us,
Right.
wherever you want to call us, right? Those should be conversations that essentially you're having.
That's right. And, a lot of people too, starting off in the workforce, maybe coming out of college and that kind of stuff, they go into the workforce and they're W-2'd. So they sign up for their life insurance through their employer.
Yeah.
They do all that. But now more and more I see personally in, being in mortgages, is that younger people are getting very influential in self-employment. They want to work for themselves. People are, so I think it's important that they know that they have to start these types of things without an employer assistance program.
Yeah, especially
Like
life insurance.
life insurance,
Mostly because when someone is getting life insurance, that you are rated on your age and health at that time. And so it's never cheaper to get life insurance, but it would be today for you because you won't
Right.
be younger and you most likely won't be healthier. And then with the term, when you go with the right company, you can leverage a term policy to convert part of it or all of it into a permanent policy at a later date.
Right.
And so a lot of my clients will get 30-year terms because we're going to wait till their late 30s or early 40s, or if they financially can do it now we'll in turn do part of it into an IUL later.
Right.
So it just gives us more options, when you're looking to do something.
Right. And, industry professionals, like for me, I see a lot of young real estate agents getting into the business these days, and they don't think about those kinds of things. So this is something that, I personally bring a value add to my real estate partners, was saying, hey, have you done this because you've been in real estate either a long time or you're just getting started? These are some of the things that you need to think about personally. It's not always about bringing value to their business, but sometimes it's about bringing value to people personally.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Personally. And, because we're in this business, as agents and people of all types and commissioned employees and self-employed people, to help and share and grow each other's business. I don't believe that any of us are competition to each other. I think we were always meant to help each other grow and expand and connect.
Yeah.
It's all about making connections, right?
Absolutely.
All about making connections. So, if you're young and you're entrepreneurial and you want it and you're a self-employed person, like think about that. Think about how you can expand and create your own legacy wealth by doing things like getting involved in your own life insurance, investing in yourself. And I think that's just so imperative, so thanks for sharing that information with us, Kevin.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now let's talk about, I know what all of our real estate and people and the subscribers out there doing this would want to know about home insurance and the things that are going on in California in regards to home insurance, right? Because it's become quite a mess.
Yeah.
In some areas, and then other areas it's just kind of business as usual.
Yeah.
But and then maybe kind of add in something about what you think's going on especially with these awful. And I'd like to send out a quick shout out to the victims of the California wildfires. Our thoughts and prayers are with you. And I at Walker Home Loans and Western Pioneer Financial want to send our sincere condolences to the victims of that tragedy. So tell us how that affects our industry and things like homeowners insurance and things people ought to know right now.
Yeah, it's a great question. And yeah, it's horrific what's going on down there. It's very unfortunate what's going on down there.
Right.
And essentially, again, it's just it's an example of why homeowners insurance should be needed. And unfortunately, there's a lot of clients out there looking at, how now to talk to somebody about a claim that they're having, and
Right.
so some folks made decisions to move with online carriers, some made decisions to move with non-admitted carriers, some made decisions to move with admitted carriers, and some people didn't have a choice. They were told this is the choice that you have, right?
Right.
And so there's
Oh
just a
yeah, we get
lot.
started on that.
Yeah, there's a lot out there right now that is very confusing. I read an article someone posted it. I don't get the news or watch the news really, and so this gentleman posted a snapshot of these mean mortgage companies are requiring customers to pay their mortgage even though they don't live in the house. And I'm like, well, that's loss of use. So for me, that's why you have an insurance policy, because they
Correct.
pay the mortgage. You pay the mortgage that they're paying you to live somewhere else.
Right.
So you're getting money from your insurance carrier. And so there's a lot of misinformation out there, especially in California. There's a time limit. The commissioner requires a company to submit to a customer before they're canceled. And what happens is, clients get this letter of denial or or non-renewal, and when they're getting non-renewed, now they have, whatever time frame that California has in place to be able to go out and look for another insurance carrier, and then they get that information to their mortgage company and they move on with their life. But in our time that we have now, we've had a lot of increases over the last 2 to 3 years. And so insurance has gone up in some cases, 80% for some customers, maybe more, maybe less. And so financially, people have been put in a hole where 2 years ago they could afford to live in their house, but maybe now, because of their circumstances,
Right.
maybe they can't. And so they're facing this paradigm where they have to make a decision. And who knew that their house would burn down?
Right.
It's terrible. None of this is good news. It's all terrible. It's tragic. And so when it comes to the state of insurance, yes, again, I'm not a philosopher, nor am I an insurance, I can't tell the future just like no one else can.
Oh, your crystal ball is
I
broken too.
My crystal ball is
Yeah,
broken
I tell
too.
everybody
Yeah.
that all the time
Yeah, my
when they
crystal
ask
ball
me
is
about
broken
interest
too.
rates.
So like
Broken.
my best my intelligent side would tell me that insurance is a pull money. It's a pulled risk of money. It's a pulled money for risk absorption.
Right.
So it's basically, 1,000 people are paying $1,000 a year. That's how much money the carrier has to pay for those losses. Well, years ago, insurance carriers were paying, $1.10, $1.50 on every dollar they were getting. And, how can you stay in business
Yeah,
if I'm
you're
spending
exceeding
more,
your
right?
authorized revenue.
But when insurance carriers get making 10 cents on every dollar or 15 cents on every dollar, and you have, say, I don't know, 300,000 customers
Yeah.
throughout the state, do the math. You can accumulate cash real fast. And so the company I work for, we had a big town hall meeting last week. They're not excited about the situation they're in, but they're very excited about being able to cover all the losses. So they are. We're covering all the losses and that we have
That's
down
good to
there.
hear.
Oh, fantastic! It's
That's good to hear because
as
you
a
think to yourself, what's really happening with all that money?
yeah, as a professional.
It's frightening to think that there are because there I know I heard personally, and I don't like to relay information I don't have facts on. Yeah, it's not factual, but I
Yeah.
heard there was a lot of people who lost their policies prior to these fires. A lot of
Yeah, so
people.
those are called non-renewals.
Yeah,
And
and it just seems to me like, oh, I can't imagine.
well, what happens is your policy, your homeowner insurance policy is rated on a bunch of factors, right? But I'll try to make this simple. You have your fire line score, which is geographically where your house is located on land.
Yeah.
That I'm not certain how often adjusts, but there's an adjustment period. So you could be in a higher fire line score now, then you could be in a low fire line score the next year. You could have your neighbor with a high fire line score, and you could have a low fire line score. So there's a geographical component to a homeowner's insurance. That's always been in place. When I say always, I mean with years. These are years. I have experience in this for 10 years. The other thing is distance to a fire hydrant. So the distance to a fire hydrant would be within 1,000 feet. So all city homes are within a fire hydrant within 1,000 feet, which means there's so much water pressure available to that house
Right.
if that house catches on fire. Because we always see on the news these catastrophic losses of fires coming from the outside in.
Yes.
Well, fires also start on the inside out.
Correct.
And so that would be, how many miles is a fire station from your home? Well, ultimately they want under 5 miles. So under 5 miles, a fire hydrant within 1,000 feet, and a fire line score, and every carrier is different. So it range in the city, you're 0 to 3. If you're out in the foothills, I'm sorry, 0 to 2 or 0 to 1. In the foothills, usually you're a 2 to 3. And then you start getting up to the mountains or brushier areas, you'll get into a 4 and higher. That's where you start getting into complementary insurance policies that cover fire only. And then you have
Fair plans.
That's the California Fair Plan, which
Right.
is not a government agency, by the way. It's
Okay.
actual insurance company.
That's what I thought. And thanks for clarifying that, because people need to know that. Like, it's not,
and no one
it's
was.
it's not an additional reg. It's always been.
Yeah, for sure. And so what happens is you have now would be a great time to do yourself an audit. Are you still managing your homeowner's insurance policy, or is your daughter or son managing your homeowner's insurance policy? Who's getting the mail to your homeowner's insurance? Is it set up on email only, but you don't use that email anymore? So if these notifications are coming to you, but you don't have access to where they're coming because you're not managing them, or you don't have an agent to help you, I mean, that's a problem. And so if you live in an area, an example would be for me, I'll use me as an example. If I change my email address and the carrier I have cancels my insurance policy, and they sent me that notice 60 days ago,
You're not gonna get it.
whose fault is it I got canceled?
Yours.
It's my fault,
Yeah.
right? Is it my insurance agent's fault?
No.
No.
Didn't reach you.
Is it the company's fault? Nope. I didn't let the insurance carrier know that my information changed. Am I saying that's fair, right? And why they canceled me? I mean, you can go down that rabbit hole and you can find peace of mind wherever you want to find peace of mind. And yet we all are responsible adults given an opportunity to make a decision. And that's freedom that we have to be able to find carriers that'll provide us coverage when we don't already have it. And so we do need to make sure that we're being responsible when it comes
Keeping
to
information updated, things like
Absolutely.
that. Yeah.
And I'm not suggesting that having an agent's going to be your fix-all. Has our team made mistakes and missed an email address, or have we had a client have to call us and be like, "Hey, I didn't know this was happening," and we're like, there always could be something that comes up. But the reality is, if you have an agent and you're talking to them once a year at least about your renewal, you're going to have that the likelihood of that happening is very, very minimal.
Right. And I think, there's so many times too that, even in my industry, in real estate and mortgage, and, there's the mortgage companies, the online mortgage companies, like, you're just going to get the local Joe Schmo. And for me, that's just the way that it really is. And you're not going to get that personalized service.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get somebody that's just not, local experts are the best experts.
Yeah.
They are the best experts, and there's all kinds of online insurance companies, so tell me where, I'm sure you can speak to this, the difference between online and companies that, sell insurance and having a local expert.
Yeah. So online carriers, I actually write for a few online carriers.
Sure, but you manage those personally.
But our office does manage those personally. So we are constantly looking at those policies and helping the clients with that. That is something that we're doing. Yeah.
Okay.
When it comes to the face-to-face agent, it's like sitting down and saying, like, do you know how to manage your home inventory? And so here's an example of a nugget I give clients all the time. So I'm talking to you right there. Is go in each bedroom of your house and video each room and email it to your Gmail account. Put it in a folder as in bedroom 1, and do that for every room in your house.
Oh, that's a great idea.
For the guys and gals that have a lot of tools, open up each drawer, take a quick picture of each drawer, email those to yourself through your Gmail or Yahoo or AOL account, whatever you have. put it somewhere where it's saved, it's time and date stamped, and it's proof it's your house, right? And so when, God forbid, you ever have a claim and your carrier doesn't just write you a check for everything, you can go back and be like, hey, here's my inventory, submit that to the carrier, and see how that helps you through the process.
Right.
That's something that, and then some, jewelry is usually scheduled and not on a policy. And, handguns, guns are not on a policy. There's a limit you can have. So you start scheduling these things to be able to help protect those valuable things that you have. Watches, there's limits each policy has. And so that's where having a local agent matters. I go out every Friday. There's one, at least sometimes two homes I will go to, and I will do this evaluation at their house. I won't do the pictures for them because I don't want the liability of that.
Sure.
But I will advise them, hey, when I leave, do this and do that, and this can help you if you ever have a claim. And when they do, it's a pretty great experience. Unfortunately, they're having to have this experience, but they would have had it either way.
That's right.
And
You
so
never know when tragedy or an incident's going to strike.
Yeah, because your insurance covers sudden, accidental, and catastrophic.
Right.
So if it's not sudden, it's not accidental, and it's not catastrophic, your insurance isn't going to cover it. And so they don't call you in the morning and be like, hey, guess what? Today your home's going to catch on fire.
Right.
It doesn't happen. It's like, oh, well,
no pre-warnings there.
There's no pre-warnings. They're accidents, right? And
Yes.
the catastrophic, it just happens. So that's what insurance is designed for. So yeah, I think if you have that local agent that's able to, well, I know if you have that local agent that's engaged in their business, engaged in the community, which is the one I look for, because someone's engaged in the community, that generally means they have integrity and they're not scared of something they've done wrong.
That's
People
right.
that are not engaged in the community are just kind of doing their own thing, or can be a little bit more hesitant, right, to go outside and work in the community because they know they're not running, the strongest business out there, and they don't want that face to face. So,
Right.
Anyhow, it's and then there's tons of great companies out there.
Sure.
So there's lots of options.
Right. But yeah, and trying to decipher between who has what and what's best for you is almost impossible to do on your own. It's like you wouldn't go to a car mechanic to talk about a mortgage. You want to go to,
Yeah,
it's
for
like
sure.
You want to go
And
to
I
a local professional.
tell people that, they're coming into the industry. Like, I'm constantly reading up on insurance. Like, I know all of our insurance policies. I know
Right.
how they all operate.
I mean, I trust you to go and answer all my questions all the time.
I'm answering. My phone rings, especially this last month. It's been nonstop. And it's, some days are longer than others, but this is what I signed up for, and I like what I do. And so yeah, you just have to know your agent, and then hopefully, that agent's able to walk you through it.
Right. So I guess the real important thing that I'm hearing right now is that, yes, do your own homework. But again, educate yourself, inform yourself. Man, I'm going to go take pictures. haven't done that yet.
Oh,
I am going to go.
Told you to do
I
that.
know you did. And I think I remember that you did now. But a crazy story is that I was up at a friend's house in Paradise, California.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, several years ago, the Paradise fires demolished that town. And my friends were smart enough to have a local insurance agent up there that had told them to do that because we're prone to fires. We're up in the mountains.
Yeah.
We're in Chico, California.
Uh-huh.
And they did that. And so crazy stories. I was up there again not too long ago when the big lake fire hit. And it was close to them. It was up in Shasta and hit up in Shasta. And it came down and they started evacuating Paradise again. Let me tell you. And so I'm there when this happens.
Oh, wow.
I'm there when this happens.
Wow.
And so we can see the glow from the ridge. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I can see now how terrifying
Oh, yeah.
that is, when you have this much time to prepare
Yeah.
to evacuate. And so one of the first things I saw them doing was taking pictures. They started going through the house and taking new pictures
Yeah.
of everything.
Yeah.
because-
Yeah. Having something is better than nothing.
So
And,
please do that.
yeah, definitely take that. Here's your to-do list for the day.
Yeah.
And what I was going to say earlier was to be professional. Like, you go to a doctor you go to an eye doctor, you go to a foot doctor, you go to
A
all these
specialist.
specialists, right?
Yeah.
And you expect them to be professional and studied up and licensed. and all those things. And it should not be any different with a financial planner or with an insurance agent. All of them should have the same type of standard. And we all do. We all have to do integrity and do that, but treat it as though it's a profession and not just a part-time job. A lot of insurance agents do this part-time. They have other jobs. They're just dabbling because you can get an insurance license and just hang it with the broker and go to town on it. But you want to work with a full-time agent who has staff, who has a team behind him, a company that has a great service record, and then yeah, you just kind of
Yeah.
you go from there. But I had missed that part from earlier. I was trying to get to the professional side of it.
Yeah, it is, and you want to use you get, what is that? You do part-time work, you get part-time results.
Yeah.
Right. And if you want to be, so many people need to understand that it's important to take care of those as every aspect of your life, and this is another point to making a smart financial decision, which is what this podcast is all about, is making
Yeah.
your best financial decisions. And who knew, if maybe you didn't know, that having a life insurance policy could make you money. It's a way of building wealth.
Yeah.
And that's the information that we want to bring to you, is that, through these people, these local professionals that we bring to the show is all about having that information, right? And, and becoming homeowners and building wealth through real estate and the things you need to do to protect that home, such as having insurance and things like that. And thank you for sharing that information with us, Kevin. I wanted to take just a moment because you and I have had, conversations too, and this isn't about money, people. This is about life. Let's talk a little bit about life.
Okay.
Kevin, you shared openly on social media about struggles, with life's balance, right? I think some of the best things you can do in this life is recognize that life needs balance. And this stressful work that we do, insurance, managing nonprofits, family, business, clients, catastrophes, claims, things like that, they can add a lot of stress to your life. How do you find, you shared that struggle gets very real for you sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about those kinds of struggles for you, Kevin, and what you do personally. Does it help you to share those emotions and feelings online and with people so they know that you're a real person? Like, this is what happens to, like, tell us about your journey in that aspect.
Yeah. So, complete transparency.
Yes.
I'm a little selfish with my posts on social media. That's more for my own accountability.
Yeah.
To get it out there. If someone's to benefit from that, I mean, it's real. It's life. It can. A lot of times, I'm going through something, and I have a paradigm shift, and I'm like, man, this is something I want to get off my chest, and I feel like there's someone out there that can really benefit from it. I would say 50% of the time I end up not posting the videos that I do for one reason or another. But I think there's two main things. One is have a solid morning routine or night routine. You start your day off the night before. I can say that I'm some months sober now, and it's been good just to get my mental health in line with where I'm wanting my physical body to go, where I'm wanting our business to go, is another good thing. So, they say what you eat goes in your gut, goes in your spine, hits your brain. So essentially it's, what do you want to be feeding your brain and getting you moving forward in life? If you feel like, or let me even say projectively up, if I might, versus thinking straight forward, like, if being healthy is something that everyone can do. And most people have the ability of doing that, and that's a good start. And then me, it's always been my morning routine. My morning routine is extremely important to me. No one's up. It's 4:30 in the morning. I'm getting out of bed. I'm getting my glass of water. My body's dehydrated. I pound that glass of water. I stretch. I go to the bathroom. I go into the living room. I pray. I meditate. I spend time in scripture, and just giving everything I can to the Lord.
Amen.
There's so much in this life that I've taken for granted, and not just pausing and giving thanks to God. I have anything we have in life, from our health, our address, things, even times when we don't have things, it's time to honor our Creator who sincerely loves us, and we know that through His Son. And so, just been an amazing transformation in my life over the last 10 years of you knowing me. I've gone from, we have these chapters in our life where,
Sure.
sometimes they're different chapters than others.
Absolutely.
And I know some folks watching this will be like, oh, I didn't know Kevin stopped drinking, because they know me when I was drinking. And yeah, I stopped drinking a while
Well,
ago.
congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah, I've lost like 30 pounds, not just because of that, but because of other health things I've
Well,
changed.
when you change habits, other good habits, when you take out bad habits, you replace them with good ones.
Yeah, and I have legacy goals. We have 3 kids, my wife and I do, and I have some big goals that we have, and that's not going to happen unless I change other things in my life. And so this is the time for me to do that, and I'm been happy to do that. But with the growth of the insurance agency, like if you have a business and it's growing, some of the old habits you used to have that you might have been your mechanisms to process the stress, we'll say, you're going to struggle even more, because your business is going to add more pressure on you.
Ugh,
And you're going to get more pressure because
I
now you have
know
more
it.
money. So you have family pressures. Now you didn't have these before. And how do you deal with these? You don't go to, a business school. There's no 800 number to call to ask you these questions. Like, you just don't have it. Right. And
No.
so
Self-navigate.
you have to self-navigate. I can tell you, I feel different inside, Michelle, when I don't read my 3 to 5 chapters a day. Like, I know that if it was missed in the morning, I notice it later in the day. And it's so crazy because it's called the bread of life, the living water. Like,
And that's
it's
exactly what it
so
is.
crazy that it absolutely is.
Oh,
And I've noticed it in my life since I've re-engaged in that portion of who I used to be, to today. I just came back from a boot camp just this last week, and it absolutely changed my life. Like, I am 120% different, maybe 80% different of a person than I was 6 months ago. That much of a drastic change. My anxiety I used to have, gone. I don't have it anymore.
that's
Completely
amazing. And
gone.
and
I
that's
live
just
that.
that is the grace of God.
Oh, for sure. It
That
is that.
is,
And the other piece of it, which
yeah,
is important, is being around the right people.
absolutely.
John Maxwell says you are as successful as the 5 and as wealthy as the 7. And I've struggled so much with those terms, but defining who those people are in your life doesn't change who you currently have in your life. It doesn't.
No,
It elevates who you need to have and who you end up telling your story to and who you end up going to. So your
right.
associations,
It just
your
navigates the direction
it does, but your associations
hmm
matter massively,
massively.
massively. And you go to dinner with someone who's about ready to go, who has access to Mel Robbins' his podcast, and like, hey, when you finish your book, let me know and I'll connect you with my friend Mel. You're just like blown away.
Right,
And that's called an association.
right.
It's like, I would never have met Mel Robbins. I just listened to her podcast this morning. I would never have known I could even knew her. But I had dinner with someone 2 months ago in December who told me that. And it's like, it's your associations
That's right.
that get you there. And from going from homeless, which I was back in my early 20s, to like where I'm at now, all of it's been associations
And you're an author.
founded on, founded on my faith.
Yeah,
Yeah, founded on my faith, our faith that we can have.
that's right.
Yeah.
And I too, I want to elaborate on that just a little bit too, because
Sure.
I too have reconnected myself to my relationship with Jesus, and it has been an extraordinary change for me.
That's great.
Yeah, an extraordinary change. And I'm not, I'm in the program too. I'm in a recovery program as well. And, we talk about that being a spiritual program and not a religious one. But I have a relationship. It's not about religion. It's about relationship. Just like we have our relationships with the people that we do business with, right? But I too have, taken my relationship with with Jesus and God and my spiritual life at a very serious level. And I too have that practice in the morning.
That's good.
right? And, where scripture is important. And I study with a group of women. In fact, we have our Bible study group tonight.
Oh, great.
Yeah. And, and we study books in the Bible and we read it and it all makes sense. It is the bread of life, the living water, it brings life into your soul. It shares about forgiveness and grace and things that we all need every single day,
Yeah.
and all three in one.
Yeah.
Three in one.
That's awesome.
The Godhead. So I love that you shared
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
because nobody should be afraid to talk about the love of God.
Oh, no.
Ever, ever, ever.
No,
And I think a
yeah,
lot
yeah,
of people
definitely.
do. I think they get a little fearful of, being judged,
Yeah.
being made different.
Yeah. Yeah.
And let me tell you, there's no judgment here.
Yeah.
This just no judgment here. We don't do that here. You are welcomed by who you are,
Yeah.
and we want to share that message with everybody that we can.
Yeah.
Everybody that we
Yeah.
can, because they need to know how wonderful and freeing
Yeah.
that can be.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially when you have a job that's so stressful. When you have things that you do, you have to balance life's balance. What better peace of mind, can you get
Yeah. I was listening.
from making yourself spiritually connected?
100%. The one of the podcasts I was listening today, Mel's podcast, the speaker that she had on that one was crazy because he actually was saying that if you're standing inside of a grocery store line and you can't have your phone down and you have to have it in front of you, you have some things that you need to work on because you just don't want to rest in who you are. And in busyness, you can get stuck in busyness by doing work, emails, phone calls, all the time doing things. Yes, you can do that. And you need to do that. 100%. I make my phone calls every day.
We're ingratiated in our businesses.
I do all of this
For sure.
every single day. I have to do all this work, right? But there is a time of day where you don't have to do it.
Yes.
And so there's a balance there. And that's why I was saying the associations really matter. Having that time with you at yourself at night, getting your day kicked off for in the morning, and then having a workout routine built in with all that really helps. I know a lot of very successful people that cold plunge every day, which is something that I've done a few times. I'm getting more accustomed to it in my daily schedule. I know it's really good
cold
for
water.
not gonna happen.
No.
And then the red
hate cold water.
the red sauna, the red light sauna.
Love that.
Yeah, see, there you go. So,
I love that.
Yeah, so that's
warm.
good.
I like warm things.
Both are great for circulation.
Yes, so like
so
saunas and those
Yeah.
kinds of things.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
and I do believe working out. Any goals or any 2025 resolutions that you want to share with us?
Yeah, I don't have really a resolution per se.
Okay.
But I am looking forward to starting a new business this year.
Okay.
I'm in the process of getting that.
Are you going
going.
to tell us a little bit about it? You're going to leave us hanging a little bit.
Follow me to learn more.
Okay.
Yeah, follow
we
me to learn
will.
more. I have
sure you'll
something
share.
cool I will with you for sure. I will. I have a program I've applied for to be able to give back to our community at a high
Okay.
level, and I'm waiting for approval on that, which will put me back into the street ministry a little bit and giving back to people in our community. And then I have an aspiration to be in 3 states with our insurance agency by the end of the year.
That's
So,
wonderful. What a
yeah.
great goal.
Yep. And we plan on getting there. I'm working with my team pretty intensely
Good.
right now, building the SOPs behind the scenes, getting the licenses appointed in those states to be able to get going so we can really get to, I want to be at $100 million in premium in 5 years.
It's a phenomenal goal.
Yeah, it is.
It's fun, but
Yeah.
you've always done that. You've always strived to outdo yourself, and we don't know what we're capable of unless we push ourselves. Right?
Absolutely.
And I think we do far greater than we ever thought we could.
Yeah.
When we set our goals just a little bit higher,
Yeah, we
and a
need
little
to.
bit farther than
Yep.
than we thought we could go. Never stay comfortable is the goal. Is you know what I mean? You always want to kind of see what you're made of.
Yeah, absolutely.
You right?
Yeah.
And I think that we're going to have to probably have that as have you back on the show because we want to hear more about that when it happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Kevin, thank you so much. And everybody, if you need information on homeowners insurance, life insurance, any type of insurance, you need life advice. Yeah, but no, really, but Kevin is such a great source. You can follow him on social media and you can reach out to the Lisitsin insurance agencies for any quotes for homeowners insurance. Let me tell you, I know and trust Kevin for all of my insurance needs. I have life, home, auto, all of it with you. And I'm grateful because I make one phone call and I get all of the answers that I need. So please reach out if you want some additional information. He's easy to look up. And then if you need any information in regards to home loans, getting pre-approved, any investors out there looking to expand your real estate portfolio, Walker Home Loans is the place to go. And Western Pioneer Financial. Got to plug ourselves, right? That's what we're here for. Calls to action. So, reach out to me or a member of my team, and we'll be more than happy to help you. Thank you again for stopping by Smart Money Moves here in Fresno, California. I hope everybody has a blessed and amazing day, and we'll come back with some more great guests in the future.